Albion Online is a free-to-play, cross-platform sandbox MMORPG that emphasizes a player-driven economy and a full loot PvP experience. Today, we're going to try and explore every monetization practice in Albion Online in an attempt to find the worst. I'm not going to explain the entire game to you, but I will go into detail for each practice if necessary and divide this video into 3 sections for clarity. Given that the game is free-to-play, I'm going to show you a few examples of how you can progress in Albion Online, and how you can avoid or skip having to make that progress if you decide to spend real money on the game. Then, I will show you a few examples of why something would be considered an advantage if you spend real money on the game in comparison to free to play. And then finally, I will explain to you what it truly means to pay to win in Albion Online in regards to these advantages that you can get. But first, I need to remind you, the viewer, that if you clicked on this video to try and educate me on why Albion Online cannot be considered pay to win because you feel like you have to justify your reason for playing it, then feel free to click off this video right now. If you're also one of those viewers that will comment on this video and say that my opinion is invalid simply because I haven't played Albion Online for thousands of hours or more, then you can also click off this video right now. Just like any other MMORPG, Albion Online has in-game currencies that are crucial to the game's economy and longevity. There are 2 currencies, gold and silver, in which gold is used to purchase a variety of skins and services like premium status and vanity/skin items. Silver, on the other hand, is the primary in-game currency that is used to purchase pretty much everything in the game except for cosmetic items. So if you have access to silver, you can then exchange it for gold and then in turn purchase premium status or skins. The same goes for if you have access to gold, you can then exchange it for silver and then buy anything you want in the game.
Oh shit, here we go again.
If you want to influence your character progression in Albion Online by spending real money, you are able to do that. But you can also play the game normally, as it was intended to be played, and earn silver that way instead. There are many ways to earn silver in Albion Online as free to play, and I'm sure there are veteran players watching this video right now, thinking that they have the absolute best money making methods ever. But for someone that's completely new in Albion Online, their first money making method would probably just be gathering and crafting in the different zones. Albion Online is a unique MMORPG in the sense that the world consists of various biomes or regions, where each biome offers different resources to gather and mobs to kill. The map is divided into 4 main types of zones where, for example, blue and yellow zones are ideal for beginners, featuring resources and mobs between tier 1 and tier 5, and red and black zones where full loot PvP area is enabled, featuring resources and mobs between tier 2 and tier 8. But what are these so-called tiers? Well, tiers are the primary measurement of character strength and progress in Albion Online. For example, all the equipment that you can wear or crafting materials that you can gather in these zones are assigned a tier. Players must also earn the ability to use higher tiers of each equipment and in turn to gather crafting materials. This is visually displayed in something called the Destiny board, where different masteries and specialization nodes can be unlocked by something called fame points, which in turn is an important part of a character's progression. You can earn fame points by engaging in activities like killing monsters, gathering resources, or completing dungeons. These things will allow you to unlock more nodes in the Destiny board. So why is this relevant? Well, because if I wanted to make silver, I could adventure myself into these different zones and chop a bunch of trees, or I can kill a bunch of mobs and skin their hides, or I can just choose to mine some ores. I then have the option to either craft items with these materials that I have gathered and sell these items, or I can just directly sell these materials instead to the marketplace where everything is bought and sold. Now here's the fun part. For someone that is willing to directly swipe their credit card to purchase gold in the game, then exchange it for silver, they will be able to completely skip this entire process that free-to-play has to go through. However, even if I had all the money in the world to buy these logs, weapons, or gear at the marketplace, I would still need to unlock specific nodes that would give me the ability to wear these items. As you can see, it's telling me that this specific gathering tool is needed in order to chop the tree down, and even though I have it in my inventory already, I am not allowed to equip and make use of it just yet. This is where you can use something called tomes, which are books that will grant you fame points directly. As previously mentioned, you can gain different types of fame points depending on what activity you are doing. So if you are gathering and leveling up those nodes, you would need to purchase specific gathering tomes, such as lumberjack tomes if we want to level up our lumberjack nodes. Now I will say these gathering tomes specifically cost a lot of money, and I mean a lot of money. The lumberjack tome currently sits at 100,000 silver per book, so I would need to buy around 25 or more in order to advance to the next level. However, However, since I did swipe my credit card and I now got around 4 million silver, I would just buy it anyways. I am now going to use all of these books and level up the Adept Lumberjack node so that I can equip the Adept's Axe and chop trees that are tier 5. And just like that, I am now able to do that. Now unfortunately, the same goes for something called Tomes of Insight, which will give you fame points in combat activities that level up your ability to equip better gear and weapons. I bought about 50 of these books and I'm going to just claim them all while equipping my current tier 5 armor and weapons. And just like that, I am now able to equip the tier 6 weapon instead. The same goes for the armor that is tier 6. While these gathering tomes cost a lot of silver, if someone doesn't want to do any gathering or crafting, they can just buy these Tomes of Insight instead and level up nodes that give them the ability to equip the best armor and weapons in the game. Or if someone does want to do gathering and crafting but not buy a lot, then they can buy these gathering tomes and progress way faster, all done with real money. Now, are there other ways to skip progress or allow it to be much faster? Yeah, so as previously mentioned, you can buy something called premium status with gold. However, it seems incredibly expensive as I bought around 1,200 gold for $10 and 1 month of premium status is worth 3,700 gold. I would need to purchase this gold package for $20 and then this gold package for $10 in order to afford the premium status. And that's literally $30 for 1 month of goddamn premium status.
Oh my god! Wow!
You can also buy premium status with just silver, but it could very well take you hours, if not several days, to earn 16 million of silver for 1 month of premium status, especially if you are a new player. What does premium status give you then? Well, it literally says it right here. It gives you all of these advantages. You get 50% more silver and loot from mobs that you kill, 50% more gathering yield when you are out in the wild and gathering, and you get 50% more fame bonus points that allow you to level up much faster for the nodes in the destiny board. Last but not least, just like any other MMORPG that allow you to purchase in-game gold currency with real money, if you want to speed up your progress or avoid having to grind as free to play, you can pretty much buy anything you want in the marketplace for silver. If you want to buy better equipment so that you can join specific activities like corrupted dungeons that actually require you to have a certain item power or gear score, then you can just do that directly. If you happen to adventure yourself into the red and black zones where you die most of the time to better skilled players or to just a bunch of sweaty nerds in a group trying to jump you down, well guess what? You can recover from that way faster by just buying new equipment with the silver that you have anyways. If you want to buy potions that can help you through dungeons or PvP like healing potions or mana potions, or if you just want to buy better mounts that will allow you to travel way faster than other mounts, you can do that as well. Okay, so we have obviously been able to establish that you're pretty much skipping the hard grind and the hard work that a free-to-play has to go through if you buy gold with real money and then exchange it or trade it for silver. But why would all of this be considered advantages if someone can just achieve the same levels playing the game for free? Well, because of time. Time, and time.
Time is money, friend.
So for context, let's assume that you are chopping trees for 2 hours and you manage to chop 1000 logs as free to play. That means with the premium status, there's a chance that you will be able to have more additional logs, say maybe 200 or 300 more, leaving you up with more total logs, which would save you about 40 minutes or maybe an hour more or less. The same goes for every other activity that you engage in while having the premium status. It is just going to allow you to have an advantage over other players because you are making progress way faster than everyone else, which puts you in a position where free-to-play would not be able to achieve if they don't put enough time into the game. That also goes for every other activity that you don't have to engage in. Let's assume again that you can just stand near the marketplace, buy a bunch of gold, exchange it for silver, buy these books and then claim them to earn fame points, which in turn allows me to level up my skills. I mean, compared to the premium status, I don't even have to play the actual game. I can just stand here and claim all of these books and level up. Now, it's unfair of me to not mention that, yes, even if you spend a bunch of silver on these books, it would cost a lot of silver to max exactly every specialization and node in the Destiny board. I am aware of this, and so should you be. If you were to buy these books and level a specific weapon node tree from 1 to 100, it would take around 15 or 16 million silver to max that out. And you would pretty much have to do it for every weapon node tree, every piece of equipment, and so on and so forth. I'm obviously not trying to imply that it's not going to take some time regardless. It's also worth mentioning that there is a limit as to how much gold you can exchange for silver, which currently sits at 200, but apparently this doesn't seem to be the case for every player, so I'm unsure why I got this gold limit. Either way, all you have to do is to just send a support ticket and ask them to remove that limitation permanently, and I was able to do that. Within a couple of hours, they now verified it, and I can now buy as much gold as I want and trade it for silver. But again, it's incredibly dishonest to even can compare that a free-to-play player will need to take hours, if not days, to achieve what someone that swipes their credit card can achieve within seconds. It literally took me 1 minute to just swipe my credit card, have gold in the game, exchange it for silver, buy tomes of insight, and then level up the specific nodes to equip better weapons and armor. This is a huge advantage because it puts me in uneven playing fields with other players. I get to basically cheat my way in the game while you have to work your ass off for hours to even compete with me in the first place. Okay, so you have the ability to not only skip or speed up progress in the game as previously mentioned by spending real money, but it also allows you to have advantages over other players that are playing the game entirely for free. But why would this be considered pay to win in Albion Online? People are always so fixated on the term win in pay to win. Winning in a video game like Albion Online could just very well mean that you have unlocked every node or specialization or achievement in the Destiny board. It could mean that you now have every mount in the game, or it could mean that you have been able to obtain every weapon or armor. If you can spend real money to allow yourself to complete these achievements way faster than free to play, it will then always be considered winning in that regard. Many veteran players of Albion Online seem to always use one argument and one argument only, which is that this game cannot be considered pay to win because I can have worse gear than you and still beat you in PvP. That's literally Albion fanboys in a nutshell. Even if we went with that argument, it would still not be entirely true because someone that happens to have equipment of tier 8 would still do way more damage than someone with tier 4 equipment.
So here I am with a tier 4 staff, which this thing is only worth 4,464 silver, right? And so I can cast a meteor, and look how much damage that I currently do. So I dealt 738 damage. Alright, so we spent 23 million and we bought the best possible brimstone. So this thing is fully juiced up and ready to go. Now let's look at the damage. This is pay to win in its purest form. 1,910 damage.
Yes, I do love Albion Online for the fact that it does require skill and knowledge in order to beat your opponent. But let's not pretend like having better access to equipment isn't going to dramatically increase your chances of beating your opponent, because it absolutely would. The reality that many players refuse to understand is that you are playing the game to beat the game, not just to beat other opponents. Imagine if you were able to purchase runes in Elden Ring. These runes are the currency that you have respectfully earned when you have killed a mob or a boss, which in turn these runes can be used to increase your level and stats. Regardless of how bad I would be at Elden Ring, or regardless of how many attempts it would take me to kill a boss, it would still allow me to defeat the boss with fewer hits than if I had not bought the runes, simply because I'm just way stronger now than I previously was. This would allow anyone to beat Elden Ring much faster and easier if there was a possibility to spend real money on the game. So the point that I'm basically trying to make is that regardless of whether the game is single player, multiplayer, or free to play with microtransactions like Albion Online, if you can swipe your credit card and pay for advantages that will save you a lot of time in the game and allow you to beat the game easier, then you're pretty much winning in that regard. I find it funny that this is a very simple concept, yet everyone is trying to make it seem like it's rocket science. Like I said previously, you can discuss the magnitude of each advantage and decide for yourself if that is something you consider to be very predatory or just very heavily pay to win. That's your interpretation of it. But please, let's not pretend like it's not pay to win just because it's less pay to win. No, goddammit, it should still be considered pay to win. You have now reached a point in the video where I need to remind you that you can absolutely play Albion Online for free, or you can spend as much money as possible on the game if that is what you want to do. You can still enjoy the game and have a good time regardless. I'm not saying these things to try and convince you to not play Albion Online, nor do I want to get myself in trouble for that. But really, dude, are you still going to pretend like Albion Online is not pay to win?
You serious?
Thanks to the 23 subscribers that I have and to the people that are liking my videos. Let me know what game I should cover next in the comment section below if you would like to continue to see more of this series. And as always, have a good day, folks.